need 10 XRP at the very least by the end of this month, because this researcher actually proved that every single XRP will equal approximately $1 million, meaning 10 XRP will create over $10 million, and you, as you hold an XRP, will become a multi-millionaire. Yes, it may sound crazy, but the facts were provided, and it all comes down to a statement that David Shorts actually highlighted, the founder of XRP itself, where he predicted the price of $1 million per XRP as being more practical than a $1 price per XRP. And it comes down to $1.25 quadrillion actually entering the XRP ledger all simultaneously in the next couple of weeks. Now this is huge because 1.25 quadrillion would take XRP to the multi-$1,000 point. Think about it like this. We have the CEO of Archex predicting that the XRP ledger will handle over $50 trillion by the end of 2025, meaning in weeks, and that over $654 trillion will flow into the XRP ledger by the end of next year, meaning we're going to see a total of about $1 quadrillion facilitated solely by the XRP ledger. And it gets crazier when you realize that it's not actually only one co-founder of XRP, being Joel McCaz or David Shorts, that actually predicted a 10,000 price per XRP. In fact, Arthur Britchell, the second founder of XRP, actually made a public statement confirming that XRP is designed for 10,000 and must be scalable to accommodate 7.5 billion people. And this is exactly what we are seeing right now, as XRP begins to consolidate and a massive breakout chart actually primes to happen within days. Now this is huge, but it gets crazier every single time we look into the research behind it. Take a look at this, for example. Brad Garlinghouse states quite clearly that the customer base is banks, financial institutions, and payment providers. Those institutions all facilitate millions, billions, if not trillions of dollars cumulatively, and they all plan to use XRP to facilitate those transactions. In fact, not only am I going to roll the clip, but I also want to tell you guys a clear statement that was public. It happened on live TV on Fox News, in fact, of the Bank of America. See, the CEO of Bank of America went live on Fox News and was asked a very simple question. What are your thoughts on XRP? And his response shocked the world when he announced publicly that Bank of America will be switching to use all internal transactions, all payment internal transactions from the SWIFT network, away from the SWIFT network, into the XRP digital ledger. And what does this mean? Well, we are talking about trillions of dollars in internal Bank of American transactions now happening on the XRPL. All of this will cause supply shock. Just listen closely.
About our business is a very global business. 95% of our customers are non-US customers. About 40% of our business is in the Asia Pacific region in terms of payment flows. And again, our customers, Ripple the company, our customers are banks, financial institutions, payment providers. We use the XRP ledger and we use the token XRP to kind of facilitate these transactions. Some people get confused about which is which, but Ripple the company, our customers are all these banks and financial institutions. Think about our business as a very global business.
Now, to make things even crazier and to emphasize that $1 million may be a bit of an exaggeration for XRP, but $10,000 is actually extremely reasonable. And this is why even then you should at least own 10 XRP, because 10 XRP times it by $10,000, you're looking at $100,000 that you've just made in profit from like $100 investment. But think about it like this. Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America, just signed a historic bill unleashing trillions of dollars into the US economy, into American cryptos. And XRP leads that list of the #1 American cryptocurrency. But $2 billion of that is expected to flow through the XRP ledger via Real Token. Now, you probably haven't heard of Real Token because they've really been trying to suppress it, even though it is what's about to inject over $654 trillion into the XRP ledger through the global real estate market. Why is that so? Take a look at this. Real estate has just unlocked on the XRP ledger by a massive institution known as RealFi. They decided to actually build their platform on top of the XRP ledger and release their native token for it, the Real Token, which is native to the XRP ledger. And just recently, we're talking just days ago, RealFi just unlocked the ability for you to actually buy real estate directly on the XRP ledger without having to use the fiat currency cash or without even having to use the Swift network, you would facilitate seamlessly using the XRP ledger through their native token, the real token. Now this is insane because it also unlocked the ability for you to buy real estate using XRP, or real world assets as a whole. How so? Well, every single transaction that occurs goes from XRP to real token. So if you want to buy a real estate, you literally can take your XRP, convert your XRP directly on the XRP ledger into real token, meaning you would burn a tiny bit of XRP, again causing the XRP supply to go lower, but you would convert that into real token on the XRP ledger, and then you'd be able to facilitate the transaction. And that process unlocked over 10,000 plus properties valued over $2 billion. Imagine that, $2 billion simultaneously unlocked. Now, the market that is trying to be, that they're attacking, is a $650 trillion market. In fact, RealFi officially unlocked the ability to garner that $650 trillion, and now they're actually building that adoption for, settling that money on the XRP ledger. It's insane, but it's happening. And again, they are trying to shun this. They don't want you to know that the XRP ledger is booming. The XRP ledger is going to actually overtake Swift and the entire financial system. In fact, RealFi just announced, this is 24 hours ago, that over the past month, they've introduced the RealFi payment solution and the RealFi asset marketplace, both entirely, imagine that, entirely built on the XRP ledger and powered by the real token, which is on the XRP ledger. And in just a few days, we will conclude phase 1 and begin phase 2 of the RealFi ecosystem. What is that? Globalized adoption and integration of the technology, meaning they're about to scale insane. We're about to see billions, if not trillions of dollars actually just inflow into the XRP ledger through real estate, and they announce something big is coming. Now, this is really, really huge, guys. People are not telling you this because they don't want you to know where the money is going to shift. It's going to shift to the XRP ledger, and it's going to shift to a project on the XRP ledger like the RealFi and real token. But people are starting to see it. In fact, the price is soaring for real token. Look at that, up 30% in 24 hours. And guys, I told you guys about this yesterday, but this is only the start. This is very, very early. If you're into real token, you are getting very early. And if you didn't buy into real token, this is your chance. We are not going to ever get lower than this. It went from 1/100 of a penny to about 3 cents. Think about it like this. Yesterday, we went from 3 cents to 4 cents. The breakout is not even here yet. We are about to break out. We are about to skyrocket because, again, billions and billions of dollars are going to start flowing into the XRP ledger and into real token. And there's, look, it's massive support, very low resistance, and all of this is happening. Again, we're talking about hundreds of percentages increase. All of that is happening while real token is not even listed on a single centralized exchange. Imagine that, not one centralized exchange. So imagine once it gets listed. People are right now, if you're very early, because people are looking at how to get real token. But again, it's not that simple because it's not on centralized exchanges. So imagine once it gets listed on centralized exchanges. Why is it so bullish? Well, because it's an actual utility-based project. These guys are a huge institution, right? They're a multi-million-dollar institution, unlocked over $2 billion. So there's real transaction volume. And again, once they unlocked it, we've seen the price breakout and we've seen the volume. So clearly this is real. It's happening on the ground. Transactions are occurring. The purchases of real estate are actually able to happen. It's all occurring right in front of our eyes. And again, this is very, very bullish. Obviously, I got myself a nice juicy bag. Just think about it like this. In fact, right now the current price is 4 cents, but there's a lot of analysts and experts. Everybody sees it. It's not just us. Look at this. Over $2 billion in real estate has moved on the XRP ledger just days after President Donald Trump signed a historic bill unleashing trillions into the U.S. economy and American cryptos. $2 billion is now set to flow through the XRP ledger via real token, positioning the real token to surge from 2 cents to $602. $602. Can you imagine that? That means for every like 10,000 you're making over $600,000. And think about it like this, guys. It is actually very easy. $10,000 into real token right now would literally cause the price to skyrocket potentially to hundreds of dollars. So it's not that crazy when you're talking about, $2 billion entering the XRP ledger real token, and it's skyrocketing to 600. It's not that crazy because again, it's very, very early. Top institutions are already positioned behind real token. Imagine that. We are talking about multi-million, multi-billion dollar institutions backing the real token. Again, they're using it. RealFi is using the real token, which is on the XRP ledger. It is real. And it's even secure because again, they've received a 100% score. So obviously we know you have a KYC team, you have top 3 holders, low risk, Banex scores 100%. Total wallets, guys, this thing is massively increasing day by day, over 3,132 wallets. So it's scaling. And obviously we know this is a massive solid team backing it, probably even Ripple partnering with RealFi. I think that might be the case. We've seen the second RealFi tweeted about the $600 trillion real estate market, Ripple also did the same thing. So obviously there's some connection to them, but it's the idea, you gotta get in early, guys. Get in early, you buy low, you sell high. People are doing the complete opposite and are losing a lot of money in the process because of that. You gotta get in early, you gotta do your research, and you literally gotta look at projects that have real life utility that are actually gonna innovate, right? Screw meme coins. Nobody cares about meme coins. Yes, meme coins may make you, 10x, 100x. It doesn't matter. But if you're talking about real life utility that you're looking at that is gonna do like a 10,000x, 100,000x, it's not going to be a meme coin, it's going to be a real utility coin. And what better is there than a utility coin that deals with real world assets on the ground, and on top of all this is built on the XRP ledger. I mean, RealFi is bullish on its own, even if it wasn't on the XRP ledger, but it's on the XRP ledger, so it makes it even more bullish because now you have double the amount of money. You have trillions coming from real estate onto the XRP ledger into real token, and now you have also billions coming from XRP ledger itself injecting into the real token. So it's like a massive, massive W. But again, I want to emphasize, because I've been talking a lot, this is not financial advice, and I will never tell you that this is financial advice. It's not. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You should always do your research. I'm telling you guys all this information. Why? Because I want you to do your research. I don't want you to miss out on golden opportunities. Because think about it like this. People missed out on Bitcoin, even though the guy told them, do your research into Bitcoin, buy one, at least, $1 is a Bitcoin. And Bitcoin at that time was 10 cents, and now it's at 120,000. So I'm telling you, do your research, right? That's all I'm saying. Look into it. Spend 10 minutes of your time, please. Spend 10 minutes of your time, do your research, look into it, and then make your decision. And it's completely up to you whether you decide to get in or not. Then it doesn't matter, as long as you took the time to do your research so that you don't regret whatever decision you made a week down the line. When let's assume it does skyrocket, you don't want to be that guy that says, I wish I got in, or at least I wish I did my research. Do your research, make your own decision, and then who cares? It skyrockets and you bought in. You know what? You did great. It skyrockets and you didn't buy in. Well, you did the research, so it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you got to do your research, you got to look into it, and that is what will make you comfortable either way, whichever way, and whatever happens. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to conclude the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I'll see you next time, and peace.